Assalamu alaikum ji. Welcome back to an episode of Kya Kahega Kazi. My guest today was Hira Qureshi Haq. Hira is the coordinator for the Creative Hub at District 19. We get to speaking about what it is to manage events as a woman, to interact with mostly male-dominant or male-dominated industries, what it is to foster talent, to foster creatives, what it is to truly be from Pakistan instead of being from Sindh or Punjab or Balochistan or what have you, and about truly coming together and combating mistrust as it exists in Karachi. Enjoy. 3, 2, 1. Hira Qureshi Haq. How you doing, Hira?
I'm good, Akbar. How are you?
Fantastic. Alhamdulillah. So, agenda pe filhal yahi hai कि we're supposed to talk about your work,
Yes.
right? But then we'll get into whatever else.
ठीक.
So, where do you work?
So basically, I run this creative space called District 19.
Okay.
We're based in Karangi, and we basically start this platform for different kind of creatives to come on board and talk about different genres of creation, which could be from, let's say, art photography to direction, production. It could be director of photography. So you also have beauticians on board who can come do a masterclass with us. You have an art director who's basically can share their wisdom and share about what they do. So we tried to make a platform where everybody could learn something,
ठीक है.
right? And it becomes like a creative space where we also have creative offices at District. So you have we have the setup that we have is basically a container setup. So let's say, for example, one container is like an office to an art director. Next door to you would be a director, film director. You would have event planners and production houses as well.
Right.
So generally the idea was for everyone to come about together in a daily, day-to-day kind of a, schedule, and you come out and you meet people. You would have freelancers sitting at our cafe called The Grind. So
Yes.
they would be doing their work, and similarly they would also know someone from one of the offices. So they could sit down, they could talk, they could do some collaborative projects together. So it becomes like a creative synergy that we wanted to basically bring about. And we also do public events, we do private events. We also have trainings and master classes that we want to tap back into. So,
Inshallah. Yeah.
so what the idea was to basically कि हमारे पास एक platform है और इतने pioneers हैं creative industry में who've done their acting
Right.
or they've done their screenwriting or
Right.
they've done their production, but they don't have a way to teach the youngsters. Like we don't have that platform कि वो आएं 2 घंटे गुजारें auditorium में और सिखाएं कि what their failures were, what their successes were.
There's no space per se.
There is no platform,
हाँ,
right? Everybody feels कि Instagram पे अगर हम DM करेंगे, we won't get a reply. There's no connection, there's no connectivity.
And they wouldn't.
And they wouldn't.
हाँ.
Because everybody has a busy schedule, everybody has their lives, right? So we wanted to remove that rift between two kinds of creatives coming together. So it becomes more approachable. You get that connection. You try to understand their failures, their successes, their stories. कि उन्होंने क्या गलत किया था जिसकी वजह से हम कुछ सही करते हैं.
And so, okay. Now this is going to be a crude question.
Yeah.
What's in it for you guys?
So we wanted basically to give back to society.
ठीक है.
Right? आपने जो सीखा है वो आपके पास कोई जरिया नहीं है उसको वापस देने का.
नहीं.
I'm 28. I don't have a way to give back unless I'm an Instagram influencer or I talk about things on my channel.
And there's barriers to that as well.
Exactly.
Time में होता है वो भी.
So you don't have a way to basically what I'm doing right now is I'm talking about what I do at work, but nobody has that connectivity with me. So we wanted to create that connection. We wanted to bring the creative synergy back where people could actually talk to one another and try to figure out कि यार ये गलत हमने किया था but तुम लोग इस तरह कर सकते हो. No university maybe has like a visiting faculty कि कोई एक बड़ा producer आ जाता है एक class ले लेता है. But you don't have that on a daily or a monthly schedule.
No, you don't.
So that was the idea कि even the biggest pioneer of different like the creative genre can come and talk about what they did.
Yeah, देखो, I think one of the things that stops us is कि stops that from happening, and I think it's very interesting that you guys actually want to do it. Obviously, also it's also a money making gig. वो सब एक तरफ है, ठीक है. I'm not avoiding that question. Obviously, you want to make money, but one of the biggest things that happens in Karachi, especially in Pakistan more generally, is you can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
Right? So if all of them are already there, then they don't need to trust the people coming to them. They need to trust you guys.
Yeah.
है ना? So you kind of taking some of at least the uncertainty, some of the colorful elements of this city out of the equation.
Yes.
That's fair, no?
Yes.
That's
Agreed.
interesting. That's very interesting. So would you be open to dipping your toes into some of the productions? जैसे एक demo room भी है आपका.
Yes, we
Right.
have a sound recording studio called Demo Music Room.
So would you be open to then maybe at some point collaborating in that way? Because there's many upcoming artists. Most of them don't have the kind of production or production facilities that.
Yeah.
So would you guys be open to that even?
Yeah, so the whole point was to start Demo also was that music platform was to given to any Tom, Dick and Harry.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a person sitting in Hyderabad with a great voice and you don't have a platform. You come to Demo, you record your content, you share it, we share it. We also do songs, original songs. So a couple of singers have come and done the original songs. We also direct the music video. Right. So essentially, you give them a whole package where they might not have that direction from different platforms.
They definitely won't. I
Yeah.
think अगर इतना आप करके दे रहे हो, because also so part of your background, the person who started it was Asadul Haq.
Asadul Haq, yes.
And again, Asadul Haq primarily does like commercial grade videos,
Yeah.
short TVCs and stuff.
Yeah.
But इसका मतलब ये है कि उनको काम करना आता है. That's basically what it means, right?
If he's reached it here, that means he's done something
but the
right.
crudest way to say it कि he knows what he's doing. So इस किस्म की म्यूजिक वीडियो तो उनको नहीं बन के मिलेगी. Someone from Hyderabad
Yeah.
doesn't have the finances.
Yeah.
इस किस्म की म्यूजिक वीडियो and इस किस्म की बहुत मुश्किल है कि उनको इस किस्म की क्वालिटी ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग इक्विपमेंट भी मिल जाए.
Yeah.
What do you charge them?
So essentially, it just depends on what kind of agreement we have,
Okay.
right?
So
it could
you're
also-
open to all sorts of
We're
ratios.
open to all sorts of ratios. We have different packages
Wonderful.
that so you can basically do a content with us. You could record it and put it on your YouTube. We could put it on our YouTube. You could essentially come out from the Demo Music Room, come to District and do your own live performance. That we will help you out
Yeah.
with, giving some gigs, because I think during this whole year there were not many gigs happening.
No. Yeah.
But that's what we were doing then.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
So we give them that platform. Then you also want to do original song, original production. We also have Spotify playlists that come under the Demo Music Room banner, and you could put your originals over there.
Right.
We also did original, let's say, again, videos that we shot, and we promoted that as well.
Huh.
We also do podcasts.
Right. Cool.
So we had Emu from Fusion come on board at Demo, and he spoke about his journey, what's wrong with the creative field, what he did wrong. So there's a lot of potential, I would say, that you could tap into different corners and you would still get something.
तो आपकी फिर then what I understand is, and देखो, I didn't say this before because I wanted you to explain completely District 19. I have been there a couple of times. So the head barista slash chef Mohsin Ali
Yeah.
Khan is a very close friend of mine,
Okay.
very very close. I've been there, and Kashmir wale concert में भी मैं आया था.
Okay.
It's a beautiful space, right? I didn't want to taint your introduction with my, because then it becomes biased. But what I was gonna say was, no, I forgot what I was gonna say. ये देखो आप, बीच में मैंने जो है वो disclaimer दिया और फिर मैं भूल गया मैं क्या बोलने वाला था. No, but anyways, I think it's interesting that you then are open to all these discussions and all these conversations, because आखिर में आपका जो your primary adversary is not like I said before, you guys know what you're doing in terms of making videos, even sound production,
Yeah.
event management. Even अब आप लोग किसी हद कुछ करके यहाँ तक पहुँचे हो ना. I really feel your primary adversary is mistrust, because कोई किसी के लिए कुछ नहीं करता है.
Yeah.
That's the actual problem, and that's not me saying it. You'll hear everyone say it for every which kind of profession. कोई किसी के लिए कुछ ऐसे ही नहीं कर देता है.
That's true.
So-
there always has to be a value attached to it.
Sure.
Right? Our whole value attached to District 19 is to give back.
सही.
Right?
Sorry.
Money was not the incentive.
No.
It shouldn't be.
No.
Because when it comes to creation, अभी हमारी creative field में ये हो रहा है कि तुम ये कर दोगे तो तुम्हें इतने पैसे मिल जाएंगे. Right? And the
Yes.
creation is dying because the more money you give, you might get more stuff out of it.
That, and also you are forcing people towards a formulaic rendition of creation ना.
Yeah.
आप फिर ये नहीं
आप
देखते
अपनी
हो.
type of creation मांग रहे हो.
हाँ, आप ये नहीं देखते हो कि वो आर्टिस्ट क्या बनाना चाह रहा है. आप
Exactly.
बोलते हो भाई whatever, let's talk about a movie. एक item number होगा, एक hero होगा, एक heroine होगी. You know what I mean? It's very formulaic, and you get repeated renditions of that. और उसमें भी सबसे ज़्यादा जो पैसे होते हैं वो production पे नहीं, वो actors पे खर्च होते हैं, because again that brings in the eyeballs and that brings in money. और कुछ नहीं होता. So you guys want to then trust the artists?
We have to.
Isn't that risky though?
Everybody has to trust one another when it comes to a collaboration or a project. It could be from any field.
सही है.
मतलब अगर आप corporate में भी जाते हो, you talk about different projects, you have to trust one another.
Fair. But then isn't that like risky, because you don't know most of these people? कोई आपके पास आ रहा है, मैं आता हूँ आपके पास, I am a great singer, right? Or that's what I claim at least. How do you, मतलब there's obviously checks.
There are obviously checks, there's always background checks. Creative field लगती बड़ी है, लेकिन सब एक दूसरे को जानते हैं, right?
Yes,
so they're
very
always
well put, yes.
here and say कि what kind of character, personality, talent. देखो अगर if you say you're a good singer and if you can't perform in front of me for a 5-second audition, you're cancelled there and then, right? तो वो talent तो नज़र आ जाएगा. I might give you a platform to do something. Then it's up to you to build yourself from that, right?
Sure.
Right? So I can give you that push. But if you don't have the talent that you talk about, you don't have your money where your mouth is, you won't survive.
You're full of shit, yeah. But, okay, so what's also interesting is, and this I found out aaj hi, Brechna and Zarmina are doing their choreography workshops at District 19 as well.
Zarmina is,
Zarmina is. Zarmina with 2 other choreographers, unka naam...
Saira and Talal.
हाँ, मैंने पूछा नहीं, उन्होंने बताया नहीं. Zarmina है.
No, it's on our page though.
It is? Oh, okay, it is. What are you not open to doing?
So actually, I have been approached by doing a lot of stuff. Like, I was approached to do a pottery class. I was approached to do a therapeutic art session. Right? And these are things that you don't get on a regular Karachi night.
You really don't.
You don't, right? And during this whole year, touch wood, we've been very blessed where everybody has felt the need to make that drive to Kurangi. Right? हम डिफेंस के बबल में रहते हैं
जी.
और हम उस बबल से नहीं निकलना
नहीं.
और जब तक हमें कुछ वर्थ नहीं लगती हम नहीं निकलते. But there has been a great response from everybody who've always said, whoever's come has said that, you know, you guys push us to come out from that bubble. You guys push us to come here, and I know for a fact that I'll have a good night.
What it is, or at least what I find interesting is, District 19 is a bubble in itself as well, right? Yes. It's like a sanctuary. So you go through the gates. अब वो कॉन्सर्ट की वजह से क्या था, उस वक्त सिक्योरिटी का निज़ाम भी अच्छा था. अल्लाह रहम करे, देखो कराची है, सही है ना,
कुछ भी हो सकता
है, लेकिन जिस हद तक टू अ रीजनेबल डिग्री सिक्योरिटी का निज़ाम भी ठीक था, पार्किंग भी ठीक ठाक ही थी. I really think there's conveniences that we understand to be wants but are actually needs.
Yeah.
Right? Like a space for parking. Like, if I bring my wife or my daughter, are they going to be safe in that space?
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. Now, if I drop my wife there, am I comfortable in the knowledge that the people who run that joint will take some measure of precautions? You know, it's stuff like that. So
Agreed.
I think District 19, yes, for all its beauty and aesthetics and the stuff that it's offering, I think it offers something, personal opinion. I'm not,
Agreed.
you know.
I would love to hear
personal
opinion.
See, I give it all the time. I think it offers something a little more basic.
Okay.
Like safety. You know, like यार नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं आपको यहाँ छोड़ के चली जाऊँगी. अगर आपके साथ मसला है तो मेरा मसला भी है. Like, we're all here, we're sitting here, we'll take care of each other. I think that's conducive to creative pursuits, but I think that's also conducive to just bringing people in.
Yeah.
Because like I said, and you know, I might sound like a broken record, but there's just so much mistrust.
Yeah.
Especially in this city, there's just everyone's trying to game everyone else. Everyone's trying to con everyone else, and you hate to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that's the reality.
That's the reality. What are you gonna do? And so, one of the ways you said that you fought it is by obviously having checks in place. कि अच्छा ठीक है, हम जो है कल नहीं पैदा हुए थे. You're not gonna con us.
Yeah.
So you have to, you know, put your money where your mouth is and bring it. ठीक है. How do you? Because again, लोग वही हैं. डिस्ट्रिक्ट 19 के अंदर भी वही है, कराची में भी वही है. हाउ डू यू इंश्योर synergy? Like, do you also supervise them कि भाई एक दूसरे से नहीं लड़ो? ऐसा कुछ होता है?
No, we've never had like that's what we've never
Alhamdulillah.
had an incident. We've never had a very bad crowd. Crowd control is one of the most hardest things we keep a check on district
ठीक है.
because you are supposed to know someone to get into the
Right.
events list,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
initially what we decided on when COVID was at its peak, up to alhamdulillah थोड़ा सा better हो गया,
थोड़ा
but
नरम करे,
August onwards when it was literally at its peak and lockdown had just been lifted, we started doing 50 people ka event, right? Just to
है.
keep the cap down.
ठीक है.
Those 50 people, I individually knew all of them. Through friends of friends, you get the names, you get the contact
Right.
numbers, you know.
Right.
My initial plan was medically कि अल्लाह ना करे कोई कोविड केस हो जाए, so I should be able to contact all those 50 people कि भाई we've had this case at district and
अब
one of
सब
these
quarantine
things,
करो.
so please you guys keep a check on it, right?
ठीक है, इंशाल्लाह.
But it turned out to be such a huge blessing because we started tightening our security that way, right? So if you wouldn't know anyone, like if you bring someone else, you would be the reference.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And I know you personally.
Okay, yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So your friend would also take your name. Your friend's a friend would also take your name.
ठीक
So ultimately you become the reference to about like 10 people.
ठीक है.
That's how you carry forward to 200 people.
Right.
So essentially crowd control is controlled by reference only.
सही.
Right? So
Right.
some events that do take place and we don't want to publicize it, we always try to keep the crowd at a limited, which is 200. We've only done 200 people ka event.
200 is the one that I was at.
because essentially हमने जब realize किया कि backlash भी आ रहा है और लोग भी बोल रहे हैं कि कोविड के दौरान चल रहे हैं, but everybody is going to a मेहंदी, everybody is going to a शादी,
या वो तो छोड़ दो ना.
outdoor dining is open,
Yeah,
right?
अब बंद हो गई.
हाँ अब तो बंद हो गई है,
अल्लाह
but
रहम करे,
till
yeah.
December, January everything was relatively open.
या.
अभी लगा है बैन ईद से पहले,
हाँ,
right? उससे
हाँ.
पहले everything was open.
Yes.
So we tried to use that to our advantage because we opened in COVID and we wanted to basically make or break होता है.
हाँ.
The first year of your business
Yeah.
is make or break.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make it. So the only way we thought it was suitable for us is to keep the 200 people at a limited, and
ठीक
you
है.
would know all those 200 people,
ठीक है.
right? So once एक बंदा random आ गया, हमने पूछ लिया कि ये कहाँ से आया है. The second time he's come, we know that he's fine. This guy is okay. He's done an event, 2 events with us. He's come here. It's chill. The next time he brings 5 people, we will also know them.
ठीक है. Yes. अच्छा देखो, अब इसमें वही वाली बात है, जो 200 लोग हैं आपके, they must be reverent of both the service that you're providing and also the space that they've been given, क्योंकि ये जो musicians होते हैं, a lot of them are bleeding because there's no concerts. यहाँ पे जो है record labels का भी बड़ा माशाल्लाह सीन है, और हमारी म्यूजिक इंडस्ट्री तो बहुत ही शानदार है, आपको तो पता है.
हमारी क्रिएटिव इंडस्ट्री भी यही है.
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, वो तो बिल्कुल. तो जो है 6-6 महीने पेमेंट नहीं मिलती है, जब मिलती है तो ऐसी होती है जैसे पता नहीं क्या, और वो भी मेरे तो नहीं, वो भी किसी के बाप पे एहसान कर रहे होते हैं. देखिए,
कसम से.
so in the middle of all that, it's difficult to not become jaded, right? It's difficult to not lose your nerve or be upset and all those things, but they must be reverent of the service and the space.
Yeah.
Right? जो कश्मीर वाला I'm allowed to say that, right? The
Yeah,
कश्मीर वाला concert हुआ, अब तो हो गया. कश्मीर वाला concert हुआ था. That was the first one in a year and a half.
Yes.
Right? Now
Agreed.
think about the fact कि though I know the lead singer of Kashmir, Bilal, is a close old friend of mine, but all of those are brilliant guys, very nice people, generally just good people,
very,
right?
very good people,
Same thing with Taka Tak. I know Zain Pirzada, but the rest of them also, एक आध बार अगर मैं मिला हूँगा, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं. And I'm sure everyone else as well on that concert. These people need to make money.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very difficult to sustain a creative pursuit as is in Pakistan. उसके ऊपर से जब concerts भी बंद हो जाएंगे, आप बोल रहे हो कि भाई वायरस है, ठीक है, you're not taking responsibility yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You're not talking to us at all about why you've instituted this lockdown and why certain
areas are open
and others aren't.
Yeah.
You're not talking to us about any of this at all, especially in Sindh. चलो, उस सब के बाद फिर if one of us tries to step up and do something for the community, उसको भी आप तंग करोगे तो फिर कहाँ कैसे चलेगा कुछ भी? You know what I mean?
You get negative hate and you get like negative feedback from a lot of like you in any field. मतलब ये तो सिर्फ because we're open and because we're on social media, you get trolled, right? But any kind of negative feedback you get in any aspect of life.
ठीक है.
Right? The only thing you can do is either address it, which we think is very important. The first 2-3 gigs we had, a lot of people messaged us, DM'd us actually, और मुझे जिस तरह वो लिख रहे थे मुझे लगा था बहुत ही पढ़े लिखे आवाम हैं.
जी जी बिल्कुल.
And they were talking about कि you know COVID चल रहा है and how can you do this and how can you do that. So as a team we decided that we should address it. We should talk to them because they're opening a conversation. Right? And if we're doing something on a social platform, we are responsible to send them a reply as to what we felt and why we did it.
But that's very refreshing for me to hear because most people would not engage.
They would ignore it, right? But I felt like it was a healthy argument, and if maybe I could explain to them what our side was, maybe they would also understand and tell the 10 others who were hating on us.
Yeah, देखो, I think I'll tell you this right now. I think that people like yourself, because आप अपनी उम्र जो आपको लगेगा आपने बहुत कुछ देख लिया, लेकिन you're very young. Right, I think, and this is very important to what I'm saying because I think having youth in your administration gives you a robust character, say some confidence and all the veracity to succeed, yes, but also willingness to engage.
Yeah.
जो हमसे बड़े थे उम्र में,
उन्होंने कहा पढ़ा बेचो, छोड़ दो,
रहने दो या नहीं भी तो तुम होते कौन हो मुझसे बात करने वाले, दूसरा ये भी मसला आता है. Right. I think a large part, like, are there other people in the administration team who are your age, roughly?
We're all youngsters.
Dude, that's beautiful.
Yeah, we're all youngsters.
That really is beautiful. No, that's beautiful. That's
no,
beautiful.
I felt like we should address it because everybody's telling us and saying such bad things. You have to address it for them to understand what we were going through, right? So I explained to the woman very kindly that, you know, I understand what you're saying. I agree with it at some point. But, you know, safety is something that you have to take care of. आप किसी रेस्टोरेंट में जाते हो, वो एक सैनिटाइजर का पंप दे देता है और एक थर्मोमीटर का एक साइन ले लेता है and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And outdoor dining, right? Masks everybody is wearing. You go to a wedding, same procedure. You go to any bank, same procedure.
Yes.
But you essentially have to take care of yourself. You have to stand 6 feet away. You have to put your mask on, right? That's your self-help, basically.
And you have to understand that these artists need to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, बात भूल जाते
हम
हो आप.
6 महीने घर बैठे हैं. Everybody went into some kind of different hobby nobody has discovered. I mean, I did cooking, man.
No? Are you good though?
No.
You're not good at it.
I only know how to make pasta, okay? So
Dude, pasta is something.
let's just leave it to that. So you've done the 6-month break. You've been there. You've slept for 64 hours, let's say, right?
Sure.
Now it's time to bring back what we left 6 months ago, but in a safe way.
अल्लाह का नाम लेके ना यार, देखो अगर होना है तो होना है, आप क्या कर सकते हो?
Exactly. You
know?
can't control it.
Yeah.
I give them
Alhamdulillah.
like immense respect to the frontliners and everybody who's doing their part in order to finish this. I
Yes.
completely give them that respect.
Yes.
But they're also telling us the same thing. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do this.
Yeah,
you need to do that.
And also, if this lady were educated, देखो एक और मसला होता है, it's called recency bias. It's a cognitive bias. Recency होता है, मैं अभी recency वाला बोलना चाह रहा हूँ या confirmation bias बोलना चाह रहा हूँ मैं. वही होता है कि already एक preconceived notion हमारी होती है कि जो liberals होते हैं ना, ये तो ऐसे ही होते हैं.
Modern है ना?
Modern है, जो creatives होते हैं ना, ऐसे कि modern, ये जो creatives होते हैं ऐसे ही होते हैं, ठीक है.
पागल
देखो,
होते हैं.
District 19 or you people or anyone, we're not really, Allah रहम करे हम सबके ऊपर, we're not really the issue.
No.
Do you know what I mean? The issue is getting 90% of this city to wear masks, right?
Yes.
They can't afford it. Their living situations are so meager and dire कि उनको they just cannot stand quarantining at home. ये मसले हैं आपके. आप 3 आर्टिस्ट को उनकी रोजी कमाने से रोकने से आप नहीं कोरोना को रोकोगे. This is the problem. It's not complicated. Maybe I've made it complicated in how I've said it, but it's not complicated. You know what I mean?
See, right now, what I feel is that the lockdown cannot be implemented back in the day जो हमारा हुआ था last year
हाँ.
जहाँ पे बिल्कुल lockdown था
हाँ.
the country won't survive.
नहीं.
The economy will crash.
Yes.
It already has so much losses that he has to make up for the past year.
Yes.
कि अगर we can't afford to go back to our lockdown,
No,
right?
let him करे, yeah.
So if you're thinking from the government point of view कि किसान कैसे कमाएगा and वो creative कैसे कमाएगा?
Yeah.
Right? If you're looking at the peasant trying to make its money,
Yeah.
or the shopkeeper के वो एक दुकान बंद कर देगा तो उसकी daily wage रुक जाएगी.
हाँ.
How will a creative make?
वो उसकी दुकान है ना यार, वो उसकी दुकान है.
वो उसकी दुकान है. And just the way you enter a grocery store wearing a mask, you enter district wearing a mask.
यार एक देखो, एक तो one of the things I know this is not by design, but अब अल्लाह का इतना करम है कि District 19 is actually an open space, open air space.
Yes.
It's
Biggest advantage we have this year.
80% of your space is, it's a boundary wall, so it's closed off. Security wise, alhamdulillah, ठीक है,
Yeah.
but it's open air.
Yeah.
Right. तो I would argue again. ऐसा लग रहा है ये paid segment है. I've not been paid to say this. I'm just positive about this space. I think it's safer to go into District 19 because it's open air than to go into a bank. Because banks are not open air, right? और उसके पीछे जो आप लाइन, उसके बाहर जो आप लाइन लगा के खड़े होते हैं, सब ऐसे वो भी बड़ा मजेदार होता है. सारी
सब एक दूसरे पे ऐसे चढ़े हुए होते हैं.
सारी SOP वहीं पे.
और मास्क यहाँ पे होता है. I don't know why. The mask is below the nose.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's
we have our problems.
We have our problems, and you know, I think the apparatus of comedy lends itself to us not going insane.
Yeah.
Lekin I don't know what we're doing. In all honesty, even with the vaccine, I don't know what we're doing.
Have you been vaccinated?
No, I have not been vaccinated.
Okay, is it by choice or is it because you haven't gotten your your?
Yeah, I think it's no. I know it's by choice because I'm just on the fence about all the scariness I've heard.
Okay.
You've heard some of that too, right?
Yes, but I've gotten vaccinated.
Oh, but you got vaccinated anyways. Allah आपको हयाती दे. मैंने इतनी डरावनी चीज़ें सुनी मैं, and you know, the thing is, so when I used to live in Canada में ना anti-vaxxers का बड़ा एक वो होता है और उनका बड़ा मजाक उड़ाया जाता है. Like flat earthers and all those people, anti-vaxxers को वहाँ रखा जाता है. और आप जो है बड़ा, it's part of the social fabric to make fun of them, right? It's horrible, but people do, right? और आप भी कभी कभार मुस्करा देते हैं या हंस देते हैं कि हाँ बड़ी फनी आपने बात की. I never thought I'd be an anti-vaxxer. I never thought.
But I think, Akbar, that's the future.
Yeah.
Relatively, what I'm thinking from district point of view, because it's a business and I run it and I'm always thinking about it. I feel like in the next 2 weeks, I would have events, but I will only have vaccinated people.
Right, and they need to show you the passport.
Right.
क्या होता है वो?
I think for visas, you have to show your vaccination.
Yes.
For employment, if you
Yes.
join in a year's time when everything goes down a bit, if you go join a new firm in a closed office space, they might ask you, are you vaccinated? Because all of us are.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're coming in with something else and you're not vaccinated, you might not get a job.
Sure.
Right?
Sure,
So
sure,
that
sure.
is the future. Whether we believe कि वो देखो कोरोना आया था, जो होना है वो वैसे ही होगा. Vaccination के बाद भी आपको जो
लग
होना
जाता
है
है,
वो वैसे ही होगा. Right? But if we have found the solution that we were waiting for the past year,
Yeah.
then I think everybody should just get on with it
yeah.
and see where this boat goes.
Might
Right?
take it and let's see.
Right.
Because the thing is, वही वाली बात है. Now I begin to think, you know, we are making fun of the anti-vaxxers. उनके भी कुछ ऐसे ही feelings होते होंगे ना, जैसे मेरे अभी हैं कि यार can I trust this? What are these मतलब agencies तो नहीं, what are these entities that have made this vaccine?
Yeah. What is in this vaccine? ये मैं इसको खा के मर तो नहीं जाऊंगा या
2 साल में खत्म हो जाऊंगा. क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे?
Because abhi bhi vaccines is still getting, I mean, you're still experimenting with this. We're all an experiment. To be honest, I'm an experiment. मतलब
Man.
But जो होना है वो वैसे ही होना है. And
Yeah.
I feel like everybody should get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Not just for yourself, but for someone around you.
Yeah.
I think you would feel more safe if you are in a surrounding with all of them being vaccinated.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And so that is our future for district as well, where we think that we could have those 200 people back, but maybe have a vaccinated event where people would just be more comfortable and would be more, like they would feel safer. कि अगर मैं मास्क उतार के कुछ पी भी लूँ, it's guarantee नहीं है कि वैक्सीनेशन के बाद कोरोना नहीं होगा.
नहीं, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee, right? I heard about this doctor who just came back from America, I think the Indian doctor. He was a doctor serving medically over there as a COVID doctor, and he had just come to India to meet. I think his father-in-law was passing away, and he passed away. He was 2 shots. He was vaccinated, but he passed away. So there is a chance that you might also be on that extreme. But whatever you can do to be precautious and safe, I think we should just follow
Absolutely. नहीं इसमें कोई भी शक नहीं है. And do you know, I know that there are schools that have required vaccination. कि भाई आप वैक्सीनेट कर लो फिर क्लासेस शुरू होनी.
Employment, visas, tickets,
Yeah.
everything within a year you will realize कि भाई अगर आप जॉब छोड़ दोगे, I'm not gonna get vaccinated, चलो मैं जॉब छोड़ देता हूँ.
सही.
But visa के लिए vaccination, like they'll corner you.
No, they will corner you.
ये नहीं हुआ तो ये कर
यही
लेना.
तो मसला है, देखे ना आप.
यहाँ से कर लें
यही
आप.
तो है, ये एंटिटीज जो है आप देखें ना,
हाँ.
यही तो हो रहा है यहाँ पे.
Yeah, it's all about. By the way, it's like one of the. I feel it's one of the biggest controversies, like these
Yeah.
vaccines. I
Yeah.
agree with you to a certain
Yeah, do
extent.
you?
Yeah, I do. मतलब मैंने बहुत देखी हैं FBI और CIA की movies. They really
मूवी
like.
शो देख के थक गए.
Yeah. We've done all that. I agree with you at a certain level as well. But then again, you just, it's better to.
Sure. And it's better.
I'm one of those. Okay, let's ride it and let's just see where it
वही वाली
goes.
बात है ना, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
कोई अच्छा तो नहीं नजर आ रहा ना
पूरे
मैं देख
साल हम रोते रहे कि वैक्सीन नहीं आएगी, वैक्सीन आएगी तो हम ये करेंगे, वैक्सीन आएगी तो कोविड खत्म
आ
हो
गई
जाएगा.
है.
अब वैक्सीन आ गई, अब कोई वैक्सीन नहीं लगा रहा. मतलब हमारी कौम
बस माशाल्लाह हम जो है ना बड़े शानदार है. नहीं बहरहाल. So now one of your jobs as the manager slash head or of this whole space is interacting with people.
Yes.
You also happen to be a woman.
Yes.
How's that been? Because I've spoken to quite a few women at length who have to interact. देखो क्योंकि you cannot pick who comes to interact with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Sadly, you can't.
You know, Allah raham kare. But and primarily for a lot of these, क्योंकि event management is such a vast field.
Exactly.
अब मैं क्या मिसाल दूँ, open space है, maybe food vendors or whatever else.
So thankfully, I am I am running it, but I have my husband Moise running it with me.
All right, okay.
So
Yeah.
both of us as a couple,
Huh.
let's spoil like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Moise and I run it together.
ठीक है.
So initially it was just me. It's a very funny story. It was
Okay.
just me and I think my logistic guy who was under me when I started would come and tell me कि जनरेटर को ये हो गया है तो इसके केवी में ये मसला है और ये केवी करेंगे तो ये हो जाएगा. वो लिटरली मेरे सर से गुजरती थी
इस केवी को उस केवी पे कर दो.
Yeah, and at that time Moise and I had just moved back from Malaysia, and he basically was trying to do some freelancing work on the laptop, so he would come to work with me.
Okay.
Right, so he'll be like, I'll be chilling in your office, तुम अपना काम करो, I'll do my
ठीक
work.
है. I
right?
think I met Muiz at the Kashmir concert.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Moise would keep doing that, and then ultimately what happened was that every electronic or technical work I would tell Moise, can you please explain this to me in like plain English, like as to what he's saying. And then it turned out to be that we just became a team. So we just became someone who started like running it together.
Sahi,
So he takes care of the operations, which is basically, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's a male-dominated.
Oh, you shouldn't hate to say it. It is
But I
male,
hate to say
it's
it.
male-dominated.
Yeah.
What the problem is, it's also exclusive to men for some
Yeah.
reason. That's ridiculous.
Because I feel like when I was dealing with the carpenters and the electricians and all these vendors, they wouldn't take me seriously.
Which
right?
is funny
As
because
a-
you're paying them.
Yeah, as a woman, they wouldn't take me seriously कि बाजी को समझ नहीं आएगा शायद. So they would rather talk to my guy who's my logistic guy, and he would be like, आप बाजी को समझा दे कि हम ये ऐसे करेंगे, right? So I found that a little offensive as to यार मतलब ये अगर तुम लाइट यहाँ से लगाओगे यहाँ लगा दोगे,
Yeah.
it shouldn't make a difference. Like
No.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right, but I noticed a severe change when Moise would tell them. You know, हंसी मजाक में कि भाई ये तार ऐसे लगा दे वैसे. So I realized that this is a male-dominated, where they wouldn't take you seriously as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
where they would ask कि sir को बुला दे. Right?
Sure.
It's like sir, अगर for example if Moise wasn't there, sir नहीं है, talk to me, they wouldn't talk to me.
कल आ जाएंगे ऐसे.
हाँ, कि बाजी को कल देखेंगे.
That's so strange, no?
Yeah, but that's the reality. These vendors, they're all like, maybe they live in a very conservative society where they don't feel it's right to basically talk to a woman, or the
You would
fact-
hope it's out of reverence, right? But it's
Yeah,
really not.
but it's not.
It's really not.
I mean, believe that I don't look like a bimbo, but the fact that they made me seem like one, I felt like maybe I wasn't getting the job faster. At the end of the day, it's about getting the job done.
Yeah.
या वो मैं करूँ या वो मोइस करे या
Yes.
कोई और बंदा करे, it needs to happen.
That's देखो, most social change is compromised when principles of efficacy come into play ना.
Yeah.
Because वही वाली बात है, you could have put your foot down, be like, नहीं इनने तो मेरी ही बात सुननी है,
Yeah.
right? Or say अल्लाह मुझे इसको हयाती दे, but say you didn't have that alternative.
Yeah.
Say you had to do it yourself. That would compromise the organizational efficacy. You know, and then जो चीज़ 2 दिन में होनी थी वो हफ्ता ले रही है, क्योंकि माशाल्लाह से कराची में ऐसा हो सकता है
हाँ होता है
कि दो दिन की चीज़ हफ्ता लेती है.
बिकॉज अगर डिस्पेंसर मुझे ठीक करना नहीं आ रहा
हाँ
तो वो तो मुझे उल्लू बना देगा.
हाँ
राइट बट अ मैन वुड नो मोस्ट ऑफ द टूल्स कि अगर मैं ये वायर
Yeah.
यहाँ करूँगा
Yeah.
ही कैन टॉक टू द गाय एंड बी
Yeah.
लाइक कि ऐसे नहीं होगा.
या पर पता है क्या, let me put it to you this way as well. A woman could know, this I've seen, a woman could know more about the same field and still not get taken seriously, and that really
That
baffles
happened,
me.
which is why I stepped back, which
Yeah.
is again like I said, it has to, you have to get the job done.
Yes,
Right.
sure.
So if not complying with what I say and complying with what Moise says and making it seem like okay fine, they will not listen to me and put him forward.
Yeah.
If it's getting my job done in 2 days rather than 15,
काम करवाओ. हाँ.
कर लो यार.
हाँ, काम
इसकी
करवाओ.
बात सुन लो और कर लो.
हाँ. But do you think, so how long have you been doing this now? It's been a year.
So it's been more than a year. Yeah.
हाँ, see, alhamdulillah. उससे पहले आप क्या कर रहे थे?
So basically, I have a fashion degree. I'm
Okay.
a fashion designer by profession.
Very
Yes.
cool, very cool, yes.
I was in Nixer and then I went to PIFD Lahore to do my degree.
Okay.
I think midway in the degree, I realized I didn't want to do design
Okay.
because मेरे साथ ही I felt like there was such an influx of different designers coming on board. Like every Tom, Dick and Harry was a designer.
Sure.
हर आंटी ने बेसमेंट में कारखाना बनाया हुआ है.
जी.
हर बंदे ने अपना नाम के साथ लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल बसमा ऑफिशियल डिज़ाइन वेयर बनाया हुआ है.
Yes.
तो आई रियलाइज़ कि जो 4 साल मैंने पढ़ाई की और जो मैंने पैसे खर्च किए और मैंने पेशेंटली अपना जो सीखा, I wasn't getting the same response to, let's say, an auntie who has 15 big rich friends and who can afford that
Sure.
kind of, you know, garment and can get away with it, right? And then there was so much not happening in the industry that I realized I wanted to change my, like the fashion industry is stagnant.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like it's very stagnant.
यार मुझे कुछ पता नहीं है वैसे.
All my friends who've graduated with me or are in similar fields, they're all done with making clothes now.
That's bad.
They've
That's
all
not
said
good.
कि
Yeah.
या मैं कपड़े बना के थक गई हूँ.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're basically putting monetary and more commercial into bridals and all that, but we're not thinking about the future. Sustainable fashion is the future,
Sure.
right? But
Sure.
have you heard of any Pakistani designer doing that?
No, I've heard of some companies doing some very interesting things with jeans.
With jeans, exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
not a commercial designer
Not a
who's
designer, no.
basically has made a niche कि यार
हाँ.
10-15 लाख मेरे हफ्ते में या 2 हफ्तों में बन जाते हैं. तो वो तो मैं I'm not gonna come out of my comfort zone because I'm getting that money.
That's a lot of money.
Right?
That's a lot of money, yeah.
I probably
Yeah.
would do the same.
Yeah.
Right? But if you realize that वो कपड़े पहनने के लिए लोग ही नहीं होंगे in the next 15-20 years if you keep doing all this, right? You need to change the narrative of your fashion industry into sustainable fashion,
Yeah.
which nobody is talking about or doing.
नहीं.
फास्ट फैशन आ रहा है,
हाँ.
लॉन पे लॉन आ रहा है, कपड़े
हाँ.
पे कपड़े बन रहा है.
हाँ.
बट आप 5 या 6 मरतबा पहन के you're just like अब मैं
You're
नेक्स्ट
done with
चीज.
it. Yes.
मैं नेक्स्ट चीज लेता हूँ.
Yeah, it's so much of this has become social capital.
Yeah.
So much of this has nothing to do with what I put on my body or how I look even. So much of this is about यार वो latest Sana Safinas आया या नहीं आया.
And Instagram पे लगा दो.
And Instagram पे and I'm not
Instagram पे लगा
I'm not putting Sana Safinas on blast. I don't know what you guys make. मैंने कभी खरीदा नहीं, मुझे नहीं पता. Right? But it's one of the bigger brands and Mrs. Zeenat Farooqui used to make fun of it. That's why I know. Even 11 years ago, she used to
Talk about Sana Safina.
talk about Sana Safinas and how some people, all they were concerned about was Louis bags and Sana Safinas. I was like, pakad liya maine. What's it called? But okay. Yes, you want to go into sustainable fashion, and yes, there's jeans companies and t-shirt companies doing this. But again, that's a lot of money to kick. लेकिन आप सही बोल रहे हो. My sister talks about this at length as well. कि यार sustainable fashion is kind of your responsibility. It's all of ours. It's
Yeah.
all of our. जैसे for instance अभी ये जो सारा Palestine वाला मसला हुआ है,
Yeah.
a lot of people have decided that they will not consume any Israeli-based products.
Product, yes.
Right.
Agreed.
So फिर how are you consuming stuff in your own country? How are you consuming stuff that exploits the labor force?
Exactly.
How are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's
You're
the same
doing
thing,
that.
right? Yeah.
You're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Just because you're doing one wrong does not make it right for
No,
the other.
no.
But agreed. I completely agree with that. I think everybody needs to change maybe their priorities.
Sure.
As to, matlab, I also believe कि you should ban Israeli products. I agree with that.
Sure. Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yeah.
कि जो भी थोड़ा सा like 10% भी अगर जा रहा है
हाँ.
in against Palestine, okay, वो रुक जाएगा.
वो रुक जाएगा कम से कम.
But then there has never been a consistency of doing that.
या देखो consistently हम मेरे ख्याल में कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. That's the problem, ना?
Yeah. मतलब आप शोर मचा रहे हो 2 हफ्तों से about the Palestine thing, ठीक है? Everybody's been doing for the past 2 weeks. We've had like about 5 to 6 big marches in Karachi. Great
Mashallah.
response, right?
Yeah.
But now everyone's back to showing makeup, eyeliner. ये मैंने आज ये पहना था. So where is the, if you've taken something on, then you should really like make a change, right? Change the government rules or change some kind of pact that we can make with the Arab countries where we can come together and help them out somewhere, right?
Yeah.
एक reform लेके आओ.
Yeah.
Palestine march में जाके poster खड़ा करके you made that noise. You've stood there with that poster. You've made that noise. I was there. I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I came back, and that's my own personal, like my personal view about this, when I also came back, I was like, अब क्या करना है? Who's leading this now? What do we do? What else can we do?
There is a dearth of leadership. I think there's a dearth of leadership, and दो किस्म के लोग होते हैं जो generally, I'm generalizing obviously, but
Yeah.
दो किस्म के लोग होते हैं that I see. एक वो लोग होते हैं who shun responsibility, who shun or leadership. They're like, it's too much responsibility. There's just too much to take on. I'm just going to do my little bit, right? And then there's the other people, and these are my favorite people. These people think they know it all.
Yeah.
These people also think they can do it all. ये लोग बोलते हैं मैं लीडर बनता हूँ ना.
मैं आके दिखाता
मैं
हूँ.
करता हूँ ना क्या हो गया?
But after the big day, pack up.
Exactly.
Pack up and leave.
So the story that I heard about the biggest march was that it was being led by someone who was a 22-year-old girl, right?
Okay.
And the march was supposed to go on till 9 p.m. or something, and
This was the one at press club or?
हाँ प्रेस क्लब मेरे ख्याल में प्रेस क्लब वाला है वो बहुत गर्मी भी थी हीट वेव थी आई
Yeah.
थिंक उस दिन और 6 बजे खातून ने बोला बहुत गर्मी है मैं घर जा रही हूँ so it was a lot of that stuff right
wow.
And again I'm not taking any names because I have no way to corroborate the story
Yeah.
right but
maybe that person, whoever, maybe did their or her part
Sure.
by calling all those people.
sure maybe
right?
that's what she was
So
supposed to
that was maybe her way of adding on कि यार I have these many people,
do sure
right?
Yeah.
I'm maybe an influencer.
लेकिन हम मायरा खान के दुपट्टे को तो देख लेना
हाँ, दुपट्टा भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट
जी
है.
जी
आप कोरोना के टाइम में ऑलमोस्ट इतनी बड़ी भीड़ में खड़े हुए पोस्टर के साथ इतनी गर्मी में बट यू आर नोटिसिंग द दुपट्टा दैट वन पर्सन इज नॉट वेयरिंग.
ये नहीं कि वो आई या जो भी अब अगर नहीं आती तो फिर उनकी चित्रौल होती
हाँ,
खैर
ये
अब-
वो क्यों नहीं
हाँ
आई?
चित्रौल तो उनकी नहीं होती है माशाल्लाह से लेकिन
दुपट्टा भी तो बड़ा
I don't know.
essential है.
But Behral, my reason for asking you about what you were doing prior to this.
I
is-
was in the creative field. Yes.
But then you probably didn't interact with these people en masse like you do have to now. Do you see it changing? पिछले साल में आपको ये feel हुआ है कि some of them are becoming okay with it because again my sister. One of my sisters, alhamdulillah, is employed in a very similar capacity and she's regaled me with tales of exactly this कि अगर मैं या मेरा भाई बोलते हैं वही चीज़ हमें उतनी अकल नहीं है उस चीज़ के बारे में जितनी उषा को है right पर अगर हम बोलेंगे तो बोलेंगे जी सर कल हो जाएगा but the same thing for her just not the response isn't as crisp
Yeah.
you know and sometimes what ends up happening as a result of that attitude is then women in general have to become more verbose. They have to become a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
फिर आप बोलते हैं कि यार देखिए औरतें तो होती हैं ऐसी emotional होती हैं right? Do you think it's changing at least a little bit?
Not really.
यार
Not really. I think now what I felt in a senior position now
yeah mashallah
is that people can take me more seriously when they come to events. right?
Okay.
As a youngster, people might not take me as seriously or might not think I run this huge space.
Yeah.
But when they talk to me and I tell them I'm running the space, मतलब थोड़े से हो जाते हैं कि now we talk to her seriously.
But again, you have to be aggressive. No, why do you need to say that?
Exactly.
Can't I just respect you without knowing, you know?
You can't.
मतलब just walking on the street, इज्जत नहीं मिल सकती?
One day a client came to me and he stood in my office, like he sat in my office. I opened the door, like please आएं बैठे. Didn't know the guy. He had DM'd us earlier about doing something together. So I sat with him. While sitting with him, he goes like, boss कब आएंगे? And I said, I am the boss. And then he goes like, अच्छा आप चला रही हैं इसको. So, but the way he asked me, it was like he didn't expect me to do this. Why? Why didn't he expect me to do this? Or why didn't he take me seriously earlier? Was it because I'm a female? Or is that why he was saying कि boss कब आएंगे या sir कब आएंगे?
Yeah.
So that happens in any field.
Yeah.
मतलब आप रिक्शे में भी बैठ जाओ, टैक्सी में भी बैठ जाओ, they will not take you seriously. Right?
अच्छा तो फिर अब क्या करें इसका? इसका हल निकाल के जाते हैं इस पॉडकास्ट में. बताएं क्या
हल
करना है?
निकालना चाहिए, पता है हमें. I'm very aggressive because okay, so I've lived in Lahore for 4 years, right?
Okay.
And I was a hostelite and रिक्शे में भी travel किया है. मतलब अंदरून लाहौर में घूमे रात के 3-3 बजे रिक्शा just to get our projects done. ठीक है, तो वो we've done that all. And my mom used to always see a change in me every summer कि I would be more aggressive.
Yeah,
मतलब 50 रुपए रिक्शे वाले से लड़ रहे हैं because I said 250 and he's taking 300. I said why? And I'm fighting with him, right?
Yeah.
But then that all leads to the fact that you have to be either aggressive. It's like basically kill or be killed.
For women especially, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
या तो you become soft and everybody just comes over you, walks over you.
Yeah.
वरना अगर आप चीख के बोलेंगे तो बोलेंगे ये लड़की पागल है
पागल है
या ये लड़की जाहिल है.
औरतें होती हैं ऐसे.
औरतें गुस्से में हैं.
औरतों को
ये
समझ
जो
नहीं आता.
औरत है ये बहुत गुस्से में है.
हाँ.
जब आप 3-4 मरतबा पूछोगे कि मुझे जवाब दे दो और चौथी मरतबा नहीं मिलेगा तो यार एक मर्द को भी गुस्सा आएगा ना.
यार हाँ जाहिर है.
तो गुस्सा तो इज इन योर इंस्टिंक्ट. अब
Yes.
वो लड़का करे या लड़की करे.
Yes.
But it's the same thing you have. You and I share both the same trait that you
Yeah.
might get angry at some point.
Sure,
right?
of course.
But why do it? Why does it sound even worse when a woman is doing it?
यार मर्दानगी हर्ज हो जाती है ना. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. और क्या है, मर्दानगी हर्ज हो जाती है बिकॉज जाहिर है जब आप मर्द को बोलेंगे तो आपको पता है, औरत नहीं बोल सकती ना.
हाँ, औरत को
उसकी जगह नहीं है ना वो.
It's not her role. in
It's not
society.
her role. But because I have spoken to women at length, right? Women in the creative fields. अब वही बात है, creative में भी there's so many variety, so many dimensions of creativity. Now, for instance, if you're say you're a painter, maybe you only need to interact with the printer guy
Okay.
to print your paintings,
yeah.
and then ठीक है, and maybe a delivery person and then maybe a banker. सिर्फ 3 tiers हैं.
मर्द हैं.
हाँ, 3
Our
मर्द.
life was so simple.
3 मर्द हैं और and it's you have a chance at least, I don't know, 50% chance, 20% chance of finding a good, decent, at least a decent printer guy
Yeah.
and a decent delivery guy क्योंकि conventions थोड़ी सी established हैं.
Basics हाँ, basics समझ आती है.
बेसिक्स हाँ, तो वो आपको इतना तंग नहीं करेंगे. अब आप बात कर लेते हैं क्रिएटिव्स में, फिर एक्टर्स भी आते हैं.
ठीक है.
अब आप जो है दैट 3 tier thing goes to 8 tiers क्योंकि एक मेकअप आर्टिस्ट है, फिर एक स्टाइलिस्ट है, फिर एक ये है असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर है, फिर एक डायरेक्टर ऑफ फोटोग्राफी है, जस्ट मोर एंड मोर पीपल, राइट. प्रोड्यूसर है, वो है क्या बोलते हैं उसको, टैलेंट वाला कौन सा होता है?
मैनेजर.
हाँ चलो मैनेजर भी सही है, मैनेजर भी आ जाएगा, सही है ना. सो यू हैव टू so there's just everything just multiplies. And now like you said, you're either an आवारा औरत जो रोड पे खड़े होकर बदतमीजी करती है, क्योंकि मर्द तो जो है कमरे के अंदर जाके बदतमीजी करते हैं. I don't understand why highlight that. यार ये रोड पे क्यों खड़े होकर बदतमीजी करती है, क्यों? तो फिर वो रोड से उतर जाती, साइड वॉक पे आ जाती, फिर ठीक
वो फिर भी तो चिल्लाती है.
फिर वो ठीक होता. अगर आप अच्छा गाड़ी पार्क करें, साइड पे जाएं, फिर आप चीख लें, राइट. So you either become that or everyone takes you for a ride in every which way.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Right?
It actually put it beautifully. It is exactly that.
Yeah.
If you don't become aggressive, you either are walked on and you're
Yeah.
not taken seriously,
Yeah.
and you're taken on a ride.
Yeah.
But if you become aggressive,
Yeah.
you're known as the
Yeah.
pagal aurat.
Pagal औरत.
And there is no solution to this.
There's no solution to it. And from what I've discovered is when women such as yourself, अब आप मुझे बड़े normal लग रहे हो माशाल्लाह से. But when
Thank you.
Yeah, when women such as yourself rise above all this.
Yeah.
You've taken on so many of the toxic traits of society.
Yeah.
कि then you're not safe to work with for other women. Because one would hope this, right? One would hope कि अच्छा अब ये, because this is an at least partially woman-owned and run concern,
Yeah.
other women will be comfortable here, safe here, and so on and so
Yeah.
forth. कभी-कभी मैंने देखा ये भी नहीं होता है. Because just to
Women are
survive,
out, yeah.
just to survive, वो खवातीन जो होती हैं वो मर्दों से भी ज़्यादा बदतर हो गई होती हैं.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had female bosses, I've had male bosses, and I felt that the only difference between a female and a male boss was that either the female thinks that she has a right to be more aggressive towards other females because she's a female. Yeah, I felt that in the industry, and I also feel it now sometimes when I talk about it with my friends, that अगर एक boss आपकी female है, वो खड़ा एक लड़की को जलील कर देगी क्योंकि लड़की है तो मैं तो कर सकती हूँ ना.
हाँ.
लेकिन अगर मैं मेल होता तो मैं लड़की थोड़ी तमीज़ से उसको सुनाता
हाँ.
कि तुमने जो काम किया है वो गलत है. लेकिन अगर मैं लड़की हूँ और मैं औरत हूँ तो मैं एक लड़की इंटर्न पे चिल्ला भी सकती हूँ क्योंकि मैं लड़की हूँ और वो समझ लेगी.
Okay, so what is that also part of the patriarchy, or what is that?
No, I feel like that sometimes women are pulling each other down. There is no way of having loyalty 100% as a woman.
Sure.
Right? If there are two women fighting for a position, you're always in a competition. हर मूवी में देखा है दो लड़कियां एक लड़के के पीछे.
जी जी.
ठीक है, हर लड़की बेस्ट बहू बनने की, हर ड्रामे में देखा है कि वो बेस्ट बहू है,
जी जी.
ये बेस्ट बेटी है,
जी जी.
ये बहन अच्छी है, ये बहन अच्छी नहीं है, ये फुप्पो अच्छी है, ये फुप्पो अच्छी नहीं है. It's always you always against another woman.
Yes.
You've always seen that since day one.
Yeah.
So when you come in and I think it's our fault as well, right? As people who've seen this just in movies and different kind of media forms, you've always seen women pitted against another one.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Always.
So
yes.
naturally you think that this is the right way to do it.
Yes.
Right?
You never question it.
लड़कियां तो
नहीं, हाँ.
competitive होती हैं and they're going to one is going to trample the other to get on top.
Yeah.
But what no one realizes is that if we don't pick it up together,
Yeah.
if we don't do it together, there is no benefit for anyone.
No. Then nothing's happening. No? I recently had a conversation with Namra Sikandar, who was a former content editor and writer at TV. And she's now since joined another advertising agency, I forget. I'm old. So वो जो है, her and I were speaking about exactly this. क्या देखो, there's this beautiful community of content creators.
Yeah.
Right? And you would hope with even your endeavor to foster them.
Yeah.
To take care of the younger ones and to further patronize the older ones or the more senior ones. लेकिन आप देखोगे इतनी नई community है of primarily people who are young.
Yeah.
Younger than you and me,
Yeah.
right? Just young people, you and I. But even them, उनमें भी आप देखोगे ना, एक ये जो फैमिन मेंटालिटी होती है ना, एक दूसरे की टांग खींचना, ये तो है. औरतें और मर्द हो, ये तो है हमारे अंदर.
वो कहते हैं ना कि औरतें खुट करती रहती हैं आपस में, मतलब they are always bitching about something or the other.
Yeah.
Always doing something.
Yeah.
Why do you think that just the women doing it?
No, it's not just the women doing it.
Men
No.
are also doing it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Right? That stereotypical behavior towards a woman के वो देखो दो औरतें बैठी होंगी वो किसी की बुराई कर रही होंगी.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah.
they could be talking about something intellectual
Anything, dude. Why are
also.
you assuming? Why are you looking at them?
But
What's
that's
your-
a stereotypical behavior we have, and we've been in that has been induced in us कि अगर दो तीन औरतें बैठी हुई हैं तो वो कमिटी आंटियों की किटी पार्टियों के बारे में बुराइयां कर रही
Yeah.
होंगी कि वो
Yeah.
कुछ मतलब they're talking about something बिल्कुल nonsense. Right?
nasty and stuff.
But
Yeah.
they could be talking about a color that they like. I mean, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
now I realize that even recently I realized that even I've started noticing that if two women are sitting together, maybe they're talking about me. Or maybe they're talking about someone else.
It's always a negative connotation.
Yeah, and that has been like injected in us, I think, कि अगर कोई दो लोग बात करें तो या तो मेरे बारे में बात कर रहे हैं या वो किसी और के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, and they're maybe laughing at me or something, but they could be talking about anything in the world, right? And it's always two women you would find.
Yes.
Yeah, and you would also hear from your mom or from your dadi or anything कि वो देखो दो औरतें जो बैठी होंगी ना वो बुराई कर रही होंगी. But I don't understand why that is though.
I don't understand why we notice two women sitting together, but men sit together in droves. दो क्या 10 होते हैं. वो क्या फिर उनको क्यों नहीं नोटिस? मुझे समझ ही नहीं आता कुछ
वो
यार.
कुछ भी बात करें. Nobody cares
यार,
about them. Nobody cares.
I don't understand anymore. I'm there though. I'm like यार, I'm gonna give up one of these days and just be like यार आप लोग समझ ही नहीं आ रहा मुझे. But बहरहाल, District 19, what's the future? Oh, कितना generic सवाल है.
No, I like it.
All right.
I really wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
So, what we essentially want to do is we want to create more international affiliations. Right?
Interesting.
What we see with a lot of different communes that are doing something similar, like let's say British Council, they're bringing a lot of international talent from the outside, doing small workshops, small seminars.
Sure.
We want to do that. We want to. So we in November we had a director of photography from Turkey, and he had come to Pakistan to do an ad film.
Cool.
Or an adcom, and we called him and we invited him, and he had done a master class with us for 2 hours where he taught what he learned, right? And we had almost 40 to 45 kids, and they came all to the auditorium, which was another the space that we have inside district, and they sat there for 2 hours and they learned a lot of things from him. He had
Beautiful.
gotten his equipment, he had gotten different cameras. Studio 146 is also had also helped us getting different technicals to district, where they had shown different lenses, different kind of equipment, and they basically learned so much that they wouldn't have learned on maybe a masterclass online or a master
Yeah, it's
class
always
on a
different.
different platform.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? So
yeah,
it was a very one-on-one session.
Yeah.
So we always thought of it as, if we can do this, then we can call anybody who's easy to or accessible to get to and call them in for a master class, right? Or do affiliations with different international colleges where we could do a diploma with them.
Dude, that's beautiful. Then just turn it into an educational institute.
क्योंकि
then.
यार देखो, सीधी सी बात है, सब जाते हैं बाहर पढ़ते हैं,
जी हाँ.
ठीक है, सब
हाँ,
पढ़ते
जी, जी,
हैं, ठीक है,
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह.
सब पढ़ते हैं और सब वापस आ जाते हैं, right? They get into a job or anything. But the reality is that if you bring someone from the outside, you're booming Pakistan,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The market that goes is the upper elite, the
Yes.
people who can afford
Yes.
it, right?
Yes, yes.
But if I bring someone who's maybe done London Film School and he wants to come and teach Pakistan, wants to do a 6-month course with us, you're tapping in a different niche altogether. Or for a person who can't afford to go to London Film School, who
Yes.
can't afford to go live there for 2 years, 3
Sure,
years, right?
sure,
But
sure,
you're
sure,
bringing them for a master class, 6-month का training session है, you come and learn.
That's
right?
beautiful. I think that's
तो
beautiful.
वो
yes.
नहीं है यहाँ पे, which is why we created District 19, because we wanted more. देखो, हमने अभी realize किया है कि there are a lot of other platforms doing the same thing,
Sure.
right? Just like districts. You
Okay.
have 4-5 over here. You have 2-3 in Lahore,
Okay.
who are also creative hubs, mostly towards co-working spaces, जहाँ पे
सही.
उन्होंने एक बना दिया है incubator है, Nest.io
यहाँ पे ये है
incubator.
ना TDF घर है and all these. Yeah.
TD वो है TDF नहीं, what's the first one?
What?
T2F.
T2F.
Yeah, T2F. You have T2F. You have basically Pit Stop doing some kind of same events.
ठीक है,
ठीक
okay,
है? There's a really cool space in Lahore called the Colony.
All right.
And
Interesting.
they do liberal arts and contemporary dance and all that, right?
Beautiful.
So what we realized, look, what I realized was that I see nobody as a competition, right? Because everybody is doing a different genre of creation.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When we all do it together, we basically raise Pakistan together.
That's the only way. That's
right?
the only way. Yes.
So I got in touch with the colony. I told them that, whenever you want to do something in Karachi, you guys are based in Lahore. I mean, ideally, nobody would call a competitor and be like, what are you guys doing and stuff like that.
No.
But
yeah.
I reached
Doesn't
out
happen.
to them.
Yeah.
I reached out to them. I said, whenever you guys, and I didn't feel the need to. I didn't have to.
No.
Right? I'm making my own niche.
Uh,
But inviting somebody from another city, bringing their arts, bringing their creation, bringing their synergy
That's goodwill.
to Karachi,
yeah.
you're basically raising both platforms, which is basically a win-win situation for everybody. Because
Sure.
in the end, all of our aim is the same, is to create different kind of genres of the creative industry and raise Pakistan's creative space together.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
अगर मैं हैदराबाद से एक बंदे को डिस्कवर कर दूँ, मैं उसको बोलूँ इस्लामाबाद जाके ये वाला क्रिएटिव हब है, वहाँ पे गा ले,
हाँ.
उसकी तो याशी है,
हाँ.
क्योंकि उसको दोनों शहरों का एक
हाँ.
कम्युनिटी बन रही है,
सही.
राइट? लेकिन अल्टीमेटली अगर वो बंदा is like a big rock star in the next 5 years, he's basically just going to portray Pakistan back, right? And he's going to say that, yeah, I'm from Pakistan. I'm a rock star.
Yes.
ठीक है? वो हमने जगह दी है या किसी इस्लामाबाद वाले जगह दी है या लाहौर, we've all created him together.
I think what you're highlighting is our collective responsibility.
Yeah,
I
and
think,
in order to move forward, everybody has to do their bit.
there's nothing else you can
We
do.
are all doing it. For example, everybody has their ways of doing it and everybody has their purpose of doing it. ठीक है, some people are doing it for monetary value, some people are doing it because यार मेरे पास और कुछ करने के नहीं तो ये कर लेते हैं.
सही.
ठीक है, everybody has their own way.
सही.
Right? But essentially, if we're getting and targeting the same aim, we're doing the same thing together.
ठीक
Which
है.
is to highlight one artist together.
ठीक.
Right? अब उसकी अगर जिंदगी बन गई
हाँ.
हमारे इस उठाने से,
इंशाल्लाह. हाँ.
Inshallah, that's the aim, right?
हाँ.
अगर ये बन गई तो we're basically just promoting Pakistan, which is the aim.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
By London Film School से एक बंदे को ला के यहाँ पे 60-70 लोगों को पढ़ा के आप उनको वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म दे रहे हो जो उन्होंने कभी सोचा भी नहीं होगा.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have the means, they don't have
No,
the education,
no.
they don't even have the grades sometimes.
And also, yeah, देखो, we are so honed to say कि, you know, YouTube is the next great classroom and the world is my classroom and the screen is my classroom. मैं थोड़ा old school हूँ, and where that is beautiful and there's such profound benefits to that. I still think
Want to see in a classroom, in
Yeah,
a physical classroom.
sit in a classroom, have someone teach me, feel that energy.
Yeah.
शायद थोड़ी hippie बात है करने की.
नहीं, it's completely, I agree with you.
Yeah, but feel that energy and कोई आएगा, someone brings, for instance, filmmaking की अगर बात है, someone brings in their 85mm 1.4. Sure, I've seen 1,000 catalogs online कि कितना महंगा है, कितना अच्छा है, but how does a person handle it? You know?
Yeah.
How does this person handle it?
Yeah.
I think, and again, I will do a horrible job of explaining why, but I sincerely believe that you do it in person, you do it the old school way.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do
You
think
have to create a classroom. I believe that it has to be a physical classroom.
Yeah.
I think we've done a tremendous amount of online classes this year and it's
Too
been
many.
crazy.
Too many.
And I literally think that हम लोग 30 साल पहले कहीं फंसे हुए थे और हम इस कोविड में हमने एक चीज़ सीख ली है कि अगर MQM का धरना होगा या बारिश का पानी फंसा हुआ होगा, क्लासरूम होगी और वो ऑनलाइन होगी. Zoom पे होगी. So that excuse is gone कि बारिश होगी तो आज स्कूल नहीं जाना या MQM का धरना हो रहे थे. हाँ, online is there.
Yeah.
But I feel like even a lot of students would agree with me कि जो feeling you get in a classroom, sitting with your peers and talking to your teacher and getting that one-on-one information, you wouldn't get that online.
Imagine the fact that there's people in A levels right now who aren't getting that. We used to take that for granted to the point कि हम बोलते थे यार स्कूल जाना ही नहीं है, बंक करते हैं. At least मैं तो करता था, बंक कर DK में करता था, नेक्स्ट में नहीं करता था. बंक करते हैं, खाना खा. You know what I mean? Like, and they just don't get it. Yeah,
it's become such a blessing. It was a blessing.
It was a
I think
blessing.
meeting your friends every day was a blessing.
It's a beautiful thing, alhamdulillah. Okay, so more international affiliations, more international continuity is what you would hope for.
And more pioneers, local pioneers. Like you have, let's say you want to do a masterclass with Adnan Siddiqui, right? Learning how to act.
Oh, okay, he's an actor. Okay.
He's an actor.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Right? Talk about a famous lyricist or talk about a screenwriting masterclass,
Sure.
right? You could even be a beautician and come do your hair techniques with us, right? You could be a singer, you could be an actor, you could be a dancer. So we basically, what I was mentioning earlier, that we also have dance as a very big form of district, right? We've done a lot of dance workshops, hip-hop workshop. We've done a Bhangra/hip-hop workshop last March, I think, this March. We're doing one again in June.
Inshallah.
We're trying to bring different genres of dance back. I think what the colony is doing in Lahore is beautiful.
Sure.
And they're doing all sorts of liberal arts with theatre and dance. I think we should tap into more of that, maybe do more collaborations that way.
Wonderful.
Because Karachi या हो या लाहौर, आपके पास weekend पे कुछ करने को होता नहीं है. You just have to go out and eat. Once COVID is done, that's all you have to do. But looking forward to these kind of theatres and this kind of liberal arts and this kind of genre of fun, you don't get that.
Absolutely not. Okay. But one question I asked you during our conversation, have you been approached to do something that you said no to? Like, कोई इतनी outlandish चीज थी कि आपने बोला भाईजान ये नहीं हो सकता कराची में.
We're down to do anything.
Tattoo clinic?
That's my next project.
Oh my God.
I'm going to make a tattoo parlor in a container.
Allah maaf kare.
Yeah. I'm very serious. No. It is a cool hip space. यार आप बाहर भी जाते हो, you have a choice to drink, not to drink. Right?
Sure.
You have that choice.
Sure.
You are responsible.
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
not like आप दूसरों को बोलते हो कि तुम ना पियो.
हाँ.
गोरे हैं, वो तो पिएंगे.
वो तो
That's
पी
their
सकते हैं.
culture,
हाँ,
right?
हाँ.
Similarly, in Pakistan, there's the modern and there's the conventional.
Say.
You can't outright them, be like, aap galat to aap galat to. Everybody has their own choice.
Sahi.
Right? Similarly, district also has its own choice. You want to do something, go for it. You don't want to do it, no one's going to judge you.
No one's going to
It's a
judge you
safe
or force you.
space.
Yeah.
It's a creative space, and creatives are out there. They are liberal.
They're
They
meant to
are
be.
modern.
Yeah.
That is the reason why they're called creative.
Yeah.
If you keep sitting in a box,
Yeah.
you wouldn't grow. Right?
No.
So in order to do that, you have to come out of your comfort zone, which is what we let them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
So again, tattoo. If you want to get a tattoo at district, go for it. I mean,
Yeah, I'm
it's up
trying-
to you.
Ah.
But I don't think you would be our first client.
No.
But
No, you know, not probably not.
but
me.
if anybody wants, you know where to send.
I'll send them. Yes. What about plays? You are you guys interested?
Theatre, yes, we're into theatre. Yeah, the only problem we had this year was कि theatre में ना आपको audio बहुत अच्छी चाहिए होती है.
Sure.
Okay, you need to have a theatre kind of. It has to be an indoor thing.
An amphitheater or something.
Amphitheater is an outdoor.
Oh, अच्छा. Okay.
हाँ,
Huh.
amphitheater is open. I
Yeah.
think it's theatre में आपको sound चाहिए होती है. Then again, indoor. With the COVID situation,
Right.
so we had been approached with a lot of theatre and writers who wanted to do theatre.
Uh-huh.
But the only reason we told them to wait it out right now is because अभी एक दो हफ्तों में सब vaccinate हो जाएंगे.
Inshallah.
Inshallah,
Yeah.
right? So
yeah.
then we'll have vaccinated events. Theatre indoor could be a possibility
Sure.
with limited people.
You have space to do it.
Yeah. We have this beautiful auditorium.
Right.
जो योगा भी करते हैं हम
सही।
उसमें डांस भी करते हैं,
सही।
हम उसमें थिएटर भी कर सकते हैं.
सही।
हमारे पास बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स, क्रिएटिव कॉर्पोरेट्स लाइक बिग advertising agencies, production companies, they come and they do their training and seminars also. So we rent out that space for different seminars, trainings, workshops, team building exercises.
Very cool.
So Red Bull had that auditorium for 2 days for their training and building exercises. We have Sachi and Sachi. We have JS Bank came and did their seminar there. So that whole space is very multi-purpose.
Sure.
Right? तो हमने योगा भी की है, डांस भी की है, हमने वहाँ पढ़ाई भी की है.
पढ़ाई भी कर ली बीच में.
हाँ, मास्टर क्लास भी वहीं की है, ट्रेनिंग भी वहीं होती है.
Yeah.
एंड रमज़ान में टेबल टेनिस भी हमने उसी कमरे में खेला है.
Table tennis खेल सकते हैं, हाँ.
So it is a huge space, and क्योंकि a lot of people don't know that it's indoor, they're indoor spaces because events normally outdoor होते हैं. Right? हमने indoors events किए ही नहीं हैं अभी तक.
Mhm.
Like we haven't had a single indoor event
Mhm.
because obviously with COVID we didn't want to take the risk.
Sure.
So outdoor space में advantage था, we did it. But theatre is something that I really want to tap into because we have a very, very cool space inside the auditorium which is built like a theatre.
Yeah.
So it has those bleachers and a very cool
Wow.
open natural light, glass
Oh, dude,
everywhere.
that's so interesting. Yeah.
So it is something that we made it for a multi-purpose thing, and theatre is something I really want to get into.
No, because देखो, if you're going to talk about fostering artists,
Yeah.
some of the most underrepresented artists are actual actors.
Yeah.
You know, जो theatre वाले होते हैं, because
Theatre actors.
you have the big mega stars like Myra Khan. But Myra Khan's fine. You know, she's okay.
Yeah.
But these guys, they would probably
Yeah,
need.
but when you are in this creative industry, you have to watch a lot of things also.
Sure, you must.
Yeah.
You must,
So, I mean, I hate to say it, but I got into Pakistan drama industry a lot because I wanted to understand.
I hate
कि-
to say it. Say it.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's become my
है,
guilty
ठीक है.
pleasure now
सही.
because I watch it is to understand कि who is this actor, what has he done earlier, and because they're all पहले तो they were all stage artists,
Yeah,
theatre
yeah,
artists.
yeah.
Then they became commercial, then they came into ARY and Hum TV
Yeah.
and all that, right?
Yeah.
But in order to know what the fraternity is, you have to watch some of their work.
Yeah, and it's a long, drawn-out struggle. पता है कल I was hanging out with my friends, and we were with Saif Jatoi and Zain Jafar, just
Yeah.
chilling, we were just talking about, talking shop, talking about what photography techniques and whatever else not. तो एक है देसी रैम्बो.
Okay.
सही है, 9 साल पुराना एक गाना था. उस 9 साल पुराने गाने में की वीडियो में अली रहमान था. do you know what I mean? Like Ali Rahman, who's such a big deal, a really big deal now, mashallah, say on ARY and Hum and all these things. Now he's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
You cannot discount the struggle,
What he went through.
what he went through. You have no
and
idea,
now
right?
imagine calling Ali Rahman into the auditorium and telling him to do a master class.
That'd be
and
nice.
Talking about this.
That'd be beautiful, yeah.
And how he started his journey.
Yeah.
And where he is now.
Because one of the things that we've lost as a generation or as a society is patience.
Yeah.
So because things are supposed to take that long, Unfortunate सी बात है, but they just do.
WhatsApp पे fast forward का voice note का भी button आ गया है. I'm telling you, it's a blessing. I love it because यार 9 minute का voice note is not a voice note. It's a conversation.
It's a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a blessing, but I'm saying that as a generation, we've gotten everything on a click.
Yes.
Right, and we are not waiting for the next big thing.
No, we're
we
not.
want it immediately.
Yes.
You online shopping हो जाए, voice note हो जाए, Instagram का swipe हो जाए, everything needs to happen on like our fingertips.
Yeah.
Right, and we've lost the patience and the ability to grow slowly.
सही.
Right, अगर
Sahi.
उसके पास गाड़ी, I want the गाड़ी tomorrow.
Yes.
And you will get it also.
Because banks will loan it to you, na?
Yeah.
लेकिन the thing is, there's nothing that you can actually get that quickly. कोई भी
Yeah.
चीज, कोई substance की चीज इतनी जल्दी नहीं मिलती है.
Yeah.
Right?
सबर
नहीं
का
मिलती.
पल ना.
सबर का ही होता है भाई.
सबर का पल.
सबर का ही होता है.
गेम है bro.
गेम ही सबर का है.
सबर का है.
So, game is okay. Hira, this has been wonderful, right?
Yeah.
I would love to do this again. Allah करे आपका ये सारा बिल्कुल settle हो जाए. And then we'll do another podcast. Any final shout outs that you would like to give? District 19 का तो Instagram पे ही है.
Yeah, District 19 is on District 19 KHI on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. We also have a website, district19khi.com. I would give a shout out to everybody at District 19 who come and are regulars, and I want you guys to keep coming and keep growing with us.
Inshallah.
And shout out to everyone actually. Asadullah,
Yeah.
who is the brainchild. It's his brainchild.
He might have
And-
had something to do with
yeah,
it. Yeah.
So, and everybody, I thoroughly enjoy my work. I don't think it's a job. I think it's something I look forward to every day.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? You don't think it's a job.
I don't think it's a job. I never say that I'm at work. I always say I'm at district.
You're always at the district.
I'm
तो
at
इधरों में the
district.
district हो जाएगा फिर.
Yeah. My mom always said that you should always wake up to something you look forward to. That shouldn't be a job. It should be something. It should just be called a day.
यार, if you don't have anything to wake up to that you look forward to, ना,
Yeah.
बड़ा सत्यानाश हो जाता है.
You don't. It's not a good feeling.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's quite the opposite
Yeah.
of a good feeling, I think. Anyways, this has been wonderful. Keep doing you. Keep doing
Thank
wonderful
you.
work.
Thank you for having me.
Of
by
course,
the way.
of course, of course. It was a wonderful conversation. Hira, Kazi Akbar. Assalamu alaikum.